Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is the book acquiring tag. Now I was tagged to do this by the lovely Charlie from Charles Heathcote, and this is a very apt tag. This is going to be a nice short and easy tag because it's a chatty tag. It's not one I have to have books around, it's one I can just look at the prompts. Charlie did a me and didn't link the prompts down below. So I found them on Alex from Alex Black. I'll link Alex's channel down below. I found the prompts on there, so that's where you can go and find the prompts. So at least I'm telling you where to go and find the prompts and showing you, because I'm being nice like that, kind of. I've tried doing the copying and pasting the tags, and I'm like, do you know what? I've had a poorly Mia this week. Obviously by the time this goes live, it's right at the end of the month. She would have been fine. I think by the time this goes live, we'll be out for a holiday as well. I'm pre-filming loads, so this is my first day of freedom and I'm going to enjoy it. So I would like to do this video and then go and read. So let's get on with it. Prompt number 1. Do you plan your book purchases ahead or impulse buy? Well, I think there are occasionally a kind of me being naughty, books that I want to pre-order or order on release date from Amazon. Or there are some books that I want to get as soon as they come out. So whether I will pre-order them or whether I'll look for them in the shops and then order them on Amazon, whatever, to try and find the best bargain. And there are only certain releases. They're the books by certain authors that I know I'm looking forward to. But they are really the only planned purchases, and that's very specific books. Like I think like Jenny Colgan had The Island Wedding, where I wanted to get that because that was like a book that I wanted. So I looked in the charity shop, I looked on Amazon, I actually found it in a Tesco. So sometimes I will go to a supermarket to get them, or I'll go to Amazon if it's like a very new book that I want to get really quickly. But in general, I am an impulse buyer. Like I go to the charity shops and I don't always know. Like I work in a charity shop now, as you guys well know, and I don't plan the purchases for that. I will look around the shelves. If a book jumps out at me, I'll buy it. Sometimes on the impulse bit, I will ask for the advice from my friends on the Book Waffle group, because they are great at giving me advice. And sometimes I'll say, do I get this? Do I not? Sometimes, like when I'm looking at a book, I will check its Goodreads rating, because that will sometimes give me an idea. But most of my books are impulse purchases because that's just the way I roll. Excuse me, sorry, hay fever's playing up today. Alright. So how do you decide what books to buy? Again, I answered that pretty much. Normally what I like to do is, obviously, I like to know what areas of my shelves, like before I go charity shop shopping, or before I go into shops, I look at the room on my shelves, because obviously I've got loads of unread books. So if I know that there is like no room on this shelf, it will put me off buying something, so it will take a lot for me to buy. But in general, I like just sort of like being impulsive. That's something in my life. I'm a structured person. I like routine, I like organisation. But with my books, it's where I can be a little bit wilder, a little bit more impulsive, and I try not to decide. I like the cover. If I like a cover of a book, if I like an author if there's a new release for an author that I've spoken about, if obviously you guys have recommended books on Booktube, then that will help me decide what I'm going to buy. But it's pretty much impulsive. Right, number 3, what is your philosophy on where you shop? Online versus in person, small versus large, physical, digital, audio, new versus used. Right, I'm going to do short answers on this because, for starters, online versus in person, I will only get it in Amazon if I cannot find it cheaper in person, like in a shop. Never look at WH because they're bloody expensive. Don't tend to look at Waterstones, but if I can get it cheaper in a supermarket, I'll get it at a supermarket. That's the only time where, obviously, it's normally supermarket versus, for new releases, it's normally supermarket versus Amazon, what I can get. Or sometimes if it's not a new release, sometimes I will look, if I can't find a book in a charity shop but it's a book in a series, I will sometimes look on ABE Books, which is like a second-hand online booking. Small versus large. Is that a small book versus a large book? I tend to buy smaller books rather than large books. Yeah, I think that's kind of in general. And physical, digital, audio. Always physical. Digital audio I don't do. Every time I keep trying to listen to audiobooks, I've not succeeded on an audiobook in over a year. And new versus used. Normally it's used. The only time like I said, I'll buy a new book if it's a new release, part of a series, or a book that I'm desperate for, like a new page 2, New Bridget Kemmerer, because I can't find them in charity shops very easily. Can never find them in charity shops. Or sometimes like a new Jenny Colgan. But most of my books are used. It's just certain specific authors, where I will buy new. What about number 4? What about free little libraries? What do you think of them? Have you used them? Why or why not? Well, where I live, there are no little free libraries. I would love to have one. I would love to go to one. I would love to set one up. I would love to do all that. But we don't have any in Bracknell, so that's where I live. That's just not happening, and so I can't use them. But if we had them around here, yes, I would use them. I think they're a great idea. Prompt number 5. How do you feel after acquiring a book? Do you share in a book haul or a diary? So, firstly, I always feel good after buying a book, unless it's a boo-boo, but no, I feel great after buying a book. Books, at one point they were my comfort buy. At one point I was out of control in my book buying, and I was literally buying them whenever I felt like crap, and I was just going to a shop just purely to buy a book to make me smile. But not anymore. Since I've started at a charity shop, I'm a bit more thoughtful about what I buy, and I'm very much more considerate. Sometimes I'll put a book buy in the charity shop to help me decide whether I'm going to buy it, but I always feel good about it. And for start, I have a diary. I have what I call is a Booktube diary. I don't have a diary for myself. I have a Booktube diary, which is where I put my books that I buy, books that I unhaul, my numbers, my videos that are going up. But yeah, it's where I put all the books that I buy. And then at the end of the month, obviously I'll put them in my little book. So I'll show you. I'll show you a previous one. So yeah, they will go in a book that I buy first. Actually, I can't show you that one because that was messy. Right, so they will go in the diary first, then they will go in my Booktube planner because obviously I film book hauls. So then I'll go like this: the books I've been gifted, the books that I've bought. So there are 2 ways of it's written down, and there are the fact that I do my book hauls, which I love. I love doing my book hauls. I kind of didn't start doing them again until I think the start of the year. I think it's the start of the year I started doing them again. But you guys seem to enjoy them, so I love doing them, and it's actually a time to share what I love buying. I don't ever let you know what I'm unhauling because I don't ever want to offend people. If you want me to do an unhaul video, please feel free. But I normally unhaul what I know I'm not going to keep, or what I, yeah, that's how I sort of plan it. Number 6. How do you feel about the books that haven't been read? Does it matter to you if it's currently a lot or a little amount? Yeah, I think, wasn't it at the start of the month 405 books that I had unread on my shelves? Yeah, that wasn't very good, was it? That was a bit naughty of me. But do you know what? I don't actually, honestly. Yeah, so I started the book. My goal was to get down to 400 unread books on my shelves for this year. I will definitely be smashing that. I'm not going to push myself much below 350, but I would like to get the numbers down. At one point, I thought it was about 500-600 unread books, and that felt too much. That felt like it was overwhelming me, and that was when it became literally overwhelming. But this year, since I've started having the plan of making sure that the books I read more than I buy, I think that plan has definitely helped. Or I've unhauled some books. I unhauled books that I bought when I was being silly. So that's what keeps my numbers. I think that feels better. At the moment, 405 unread books doesn't feel too bad. I know I've got room on my shelves everywhere. I know that I've got space. I'd love to move my books around at some point. I need to move them around because some shelves have got more room than others. But that's making me feel happier. I actually feel more in control. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I don't care that if it's loads of unread books, because do you know what? I'm happy. I love having a little library. That's something Jack from Spread Book Joy pointed out. I'm a book collector who loves her library. Number 7, how do you decide what number of unread books is the right amount? Again, I've just said that answer. To me, I would like to get it down to 400, 350 to 400. I'm not going to push myself. I love having a library. As soon as my books, I don't think it's a set number really, because it's when my shelves feel like they're not overwhelming. When there's room on my shelves to put more books, then I'll stop. Then I'll carry on. If there ever becomes a point where there's no room, then I'll stop buying. There's no set number in my eyes. Number 8, do you have a TBR game or a process for reading them? So I don't have a TBR game. I have my TBR jar, and then I have my goals that I set up at the start of the year. So I have to read 1 thriller a month, 1 non-fiction a month. So then I do is I have my 1 thriller, 1 non-fiction. Then I will try and read at least 1 classic a month. and then I'll go on my shelves. Once I've read and I've obviously got my series books that I have to read. So once the series have been completed, it will give me a bit more freedom. Then I have my buddy reads. So I do kind of have like, I have the buddy reads first, then it's the series books that I alternate, so there's not too many of them. Then I have my thriller and non-fiction. If I can fit those into buddy read, again, that's fine. And then I literally, what extra room I have, I then go on the shelves and pick a book off each shelf. And then once I've completed my TBR that I've told you guys, I will then pick a book off each shelf every time I finish. So when I finish one book, I'll pick a book off the next shelf and go that way. Kind of it, really. That's so all my shelves gradually become less and less, and I gradually take books off different shelves. So is that like a TBR game? I don't know. Number 9, do you have a book buying problem? If so, what is the nature of it? Can it be adjusted? Do you know what? I would have said, yeah, I do have a bit of a book buying problem. I love buying books. I buy shitloads. I buy loads. I am mad about buying books, but I love it. So, is it a problem? Well, it's being treated. My family will probably disagree with you, but it's being treated, and I'm loving it. I'm happy with my book buying. I definitely feel that working at the charity shop has helped, because it's helped me learn what books will come back in, what books regularly come into the shop and what books don't. But other than that, I'm just happy. And if books make me happy, well, sod it, I don't care. Can it be adjusted? Well, just carry on working at the charity shop. As long as bad books will have me, I'm going to be there, and that'll keep my thing in to date. Although the fact that I've got 6 weeks off for the summer holidays with the kids, I may sense that it may go up again. I won't be at the charity shop every week, but my kids will be driving me mad, so whether I do with more impulse buying, I don't know. I'm already looking at Amazon going, God, are you going to help me out over the holiday? So that's pretty much most of the tag. So now it's tag 2 or 3 others to ponder their book buying process. Well, firstly, I'm going to tag Amy from Amy's on Booktube. Booktube with Amy. There you go. Sorry, Amy. I don't think you've done this. I think it'd be good to see that, because she's another fellow book buying lover. So it'd be nice to see her do this. If you have done it, Amy, I'm sorry, I'm a bit daft. Then Charlie from Charlie Brooke. Well, I know she's better behaved than me. I know she is. She's my sister. I know she's better behaved than me. And then lastly, Danny from Danny's Book World, who I don't think has done this. I know she likes buying books. So it'd be quite fun to have her answers. And then lastly, there's a little saying which I think really made me smile. Number 11. Know you are awesome just as you are. Being a book lover is amazing. And being a book lover is amazing. Being a book collector is amazing. I love my books. And I love Booktube. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.